Welcome back everyone, this is Lamid Sani of LSWAT apps. So if you remember from the last video, we had a look at functions and how to create and use them to help us with code reusability. But in this video, we're gonna have a look at how to actually return values from a function. So this, let me just remove this quickly, and I'll just leave the function that we had there initially. So this is the function that we created before, and we just call it like this. It's called print to from, so we say print to from, and then we pass it from value and then another to value. So let's look in the browser and see what this does, just for a quick recap. And we have an error on line 10. Let me see what that is. Okay, it should be print from to, not print to from. So I'll rectify that, go back in the browser, refresh, and as you can see, it works fine. Okay, so this is just calling the function. So there is another way of making use of functions. So you call them and then you get a value back. So let's say we wanted this function to return a value for us. So how do we do that? We can just, instead of just printing these things, we can say return, actually, let's create a variable in here, and then we say printed equal to empty string. Okay, so inside of here we can just append the letter I onto this printed variable here. Okay, so let's just delete all of this. So I'll say printed equals to printed dot, and I'll say $I, and then dot again, we'll put a break sign there, br. Okay, and at the end there we can just say return printed. Okay, so just notice what's happening here. In this case, when we just call print from to, just without doing anything else, let's see what to expect in the browser. So when I refresh, as you can see, nothing happens. The reason for that is this value here is not doing any work in terms of printing. All it's doing is returning values to us. So if you want to make use of returned values, you have to store them in a variable or use them instantly. In this case, let's store it in a variable. Let's say returned value equal to print from to. Okay, so now let's just echo whatever is in the returned value. So returned, so we're gonna echo return value. Okay, so go back in the browser, refresh. As you can see, we still have these items here, and we can do that many times we want. Let's say returned value 2 equal to print from to, and then we call this function with different arguments. So in this case, let's say 11 up until 20, and let's just print that again. So we say echo return value 2, and if everything goes fine, we should have 11 to 20 as well. As you can see, we have 11 up until 20. Yep, so that's it guys. That's how you use return values in a function. And just one more thing before we wrap this up. If you don't return a value from a function and then you still store that in a variable, you'll get the null. So let me just show you what I mean. So let's just say we didn't return anything here. I'll just delete that. Okay, and let's call these two functions. So now we have return value calling this. So these two, let's print them out without the function returning anything and see what we have. So when I print them, we have null. So let's just look at the type of returned value here. So we say echo get type return value. I'll go back to the browser, refresh. As you can see, it's null. So when you don't call a function, when you don't return anything from a function, but then you still store that in a variable, basically what happens, the function automatically returns a null for you. So just be aware of that. Okay, so that's it guys for this video, and as usual, if this was helpful, please do share the videos and rate them as well. Thanks for watching. I will see you soon. Cheers, bye bye.